From the heart of Philly, this is CBS News Philadelphia. Now at 6:30, from sunny and mild to cool and cloudy. After a summer-like stretch of October, changes are in our forecast. But first, Israel says it has launched the second stage of its war against Hamas and is increasing the urgency of its calls for people in northern Gaza to flee. Good evening, I'm Aziza Schuler. The Israeli military said today it struck over 450 militant targets in the past 24 hours. The Hamas-run health ministry says more than 8,000 Palestinians have been killed and the humanitarian crisis continues. CBS News correspondent Tina Kraus reports from Tel Aviv.
Israel is expanding its battle against Hamas with tanks on the ground and more strikes from the sky. The death and destruction is widespread. Buildings in the Gaza Strip obliterated into nothing but rubble. Hospitals are flooded with Palestinian patients and forced to treat the injured outside. CBS News producer Marwan Al-Ghul is in Gaza and says the situation is desperate.
While I was driving in Gaza City North, I saw empty streets, but a lot of destructions everywhere.
Additional aid is now arriving in the Palestinian territory for the first time since the war began. But workers say it is desperately short of what's needed. Complicating matters, thousands of people have stormed UN warehouses in a frantic search for food and basic supplies. Israel's widening ground assault in Gaza has some Israelis fearing the worst for more than 200 hostages still trapped in the hands of Hamas. In Tel Aviv, demonstrators worry the captives could be killed in the crossfire.
I think it's the first priority to bring them back, even before destroying Gaza and Hamas.
She's ill.
Yafa Adar, whose 85-year-old grandmother was kidnapped by Hamas, is refusing to give up.
If I will stop hoping, then there's no reason to wake up in the morning, and I need to have this hope.
Hope for a bit of light after more than 3 weeks of darkness. Tina Kraus, CBS News, Tel Aviv.
Stay with CBS News Philadelphia as we bring you the latest news on the war in the Middle East. When we're not on TV, you can always find us online at cbsphiladelphia.com. Turning to the forecast, an overcast and windy Sunday at Penn's Landing. Spotty showers have been popping up across our area with more on the way. But the biggest difference from yesterday, the temperature. Meteorologist Andrew Kozak joins us with your next weather forecast. And Andrew, it's about to cool down pretty drastically.
Already is, Aziza. These are the actual differences from now versus yesterday. We're 22 degrees cooler as we speak than 24 hours ago here in Philly. Trenton, Reading around 21 degrees cooler. A little less of a dramatic difference across the Jersey Shore, but all of us with a cold front on our doorstep will be much cooler, and especially as we head into the week ahead. We've had some cloudy skies. We've had a couple of sprinkles, a few showers. There's the front, kind of stalled a little bit across midsections of the state, especially just to the west now of Philadelphia, over toward Harrisburg. We will see this push slowly across the area as we head into your Monday, delivering us another round of a couple of showers, especially tomorrow morning. We're already seeing a couple of those tonight. In fact, we'll get a little bit closer to the Philly area and turn on the local radars, and you can see we have a couple of spotty showers northeast Philadelphia up toward Abington, Bensalem, and then across into Cherry Hill and much of southern New Jersey. Right now the actual temperature 59 degrees, so if you do the math, we were in the 80s at this time yesterday. 66 in Millville, 44 in Mount Pocono. That is just a sign of things to come across the next couple of days. Tonight, overnight, down to 56. Cloudy and cool, a couple of scattered showers, light northeast winds at around 5 miles per hour. That Monday morning commute, temperatures mainly staying in the 50s to near 60 by 7. A little bit of sunshine by 8 o'clock, partly cloudy and 61, and then we'll have some more showers coming in. What's up next? Tracking that cold front. Believe it or not, in the next 7 days, we'll talk about our first freeze watch or warning. Your planner and full forecast is on its way.
Thank you, Andrew. And you can keep an eye on the changes in our forecast anytime. Head to cbsphiladelphia.com/weather for the latest. Oh, it was a tough game for the Eagles against the Commanders. The Birds fought back from a 2-score deficit and got the job done. Sports director Don Bell joins us. Boy, was it a battle down in D.C., my hometown.
And always, oh, that's right, I forgot. District, stand up. Yeah, let's talk about this. Divisional games are never easy. In Week 4, the Birds won in overtime. Today, another slugfest with the Commanders that comes down to the final minutes. To Landover, Maryland we go, the DMV. Jalen Hurts And the Birds looking to sweep D.C. this season. Third quarter we go. Eagles down a touchdown. Hurts to A.J. Brown. We're tied at 17. A.J. with 8 catches for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. Fast forward to the fourth quarter now. Birds trail by 7. Hurts looking long, looking left. Got a man, Devontae Smith, wide open. Eagles tying it up. Now, Commanders quarterback Sam Howell was electric. 4 touchdowns and nearly 400 yards, but he does make this one mistake. Picked off by Reed Blankenship, and the Eagles desperately needed it. Now, the Birds looking to take advantage. Hurts to Julio Jones. Welcome to the nest, Julio Jones. Jalen with 4 touchdowns. Birds up 31-24. Washington gets the ball back on 4th down. Hassan Reddick, Camden's finest, making the play, gets the sack. The Eagles hold on for a 38-31 win. Here's Pat Gallen with the post-game report.
After allowing 244 total yards to the Dolphins last week, the Eagles decided they like things a little more challenging. So this week, they gave up 472 total yards to the struggling Commanders. And despite 2 fumbles near the goal line, the Eagles' stars shine bright.
Played very resilient today, but it wasn't pretty, and we left a lot of good plays on there, and we didn't need to make it that close, but we did.
Jalen Hurts, on a sore knee, certainly did his part. He connected on 29 of 38 passes for 319 yards and 4 touchdowns.
I'm really happy how we persevered and how resilient we were today. I'm happy we won.
And Hurts' favorite target continued to go off. That's now 6 consecutive games with over 125 yards for A.J. Brown, an NFL record. Some teammates still can't believe he's an Eagle.
That's why I still don't, to this day, don't understand how Tennessee gave him away. He was already having a great year in Tennessee, but, they want to be giving him the targets that he's still breaking 1,000. Now, he in the pass-first kind of offense. And you see what kind of numbers he's putting up.
But this game really should not have been that close. There were 2 turnovers inside the 3-yard line that could have made this a blowout. And the Eagles defense allowed Sam Howell to pick them apart for just a shade under 400 yards and 4 touchdowns.
The turnovers we got to cut out, that's big right there.
The way that game ended, I would never apologize, and I think we should never apologize for winning this league. It's very hard to do. But as a secondary back 7, we have to be better.
So despite all that, the Eagles find themselves 7-1, headed into that matchup with the Dallas Cowboys. And while there is a lot to fix, the win column says a lot has gone right so far this year. At FedEx Field, I'm Pat Gallen for CBS Sports Philadelphia.
All right, Pat, thank you. The Cowboys also had themselves a pretty good day at home. We'll tell you all about it, show you their highlights later on in sports.
And no matter how those Eagles got that win, fans are celebrating. Of course, CBS News Philadelphia reporter Marcela Bayeto shares how a very special guest came out to cheer on the Birds at a watch party right alongside the fans.
It doesn't matter if the Eagles are at home or away. Fans will come down to the link no matter what to cheer on the Birds, and even more so when former players stop on by.
Another victory in. I'm just excited. Let's see what they can keep doing.
We're doing well. I'm positive about this season.
Fans were decked out in their green and filling up on game day treats when all of a sudden Brian Dawkins walks into the watch party. All eyes turning from the TV screens to the safety as he took the stage for a Q&A.
It's always a pleasure to come back and be around these fans.
He's been an inspiration in my life for a long time. It's been a pleasure to meet that cat there.
And we wanted to get Dawkins' take on the tush push, and how do you think he responded?
As an Eagle fan, I love it. I love the fact that the NFL looked at it and thought it was something to continue on, and now other teams are actually trying it and they can't do it.
But as a defensive player, Dawkins says he isn't the biggest fan of the play or the name.
The tush push, I'm not a fan of that, like the tush, but brotherly shove, absolutely.
And one of the youngest of fans cheered her team on as if she was the only one in the room. She says watching the Birds win with her mom by her side is getting her excited for the biggest game of them all.
To go to the Super Bowl since the last one was rigged.
Ooh. at the link. Marcela Bayeto, CBS News, Philadelphia.
She said it, we didn't. She was so cute. Well, today was the last day of the weekend-long regatta in Philadelphia. The 53rd head of the Schuylkill regatta got underway yesterday with more than 8,500 rowers occupying more than 2,000 boats. This is Philadelphia's largest regatta of the year and the third biggest in the country. Teams come to Philadelphia to compete against some of the best in the sport, and that includes the Army Black Knights from West Point.
We build leaders of character, and one of the things we do is through athletics, and crew is one of those sports we do it through. It gives the opportunity for all the skill levels we have, from the novice all the way up to our varsity programs, to compete against some of the top competitions.
This year, competitors in the 2.5-mile race ranged in age from 14 to 84 years old. Still ahead tonight, parents are scrambling to make plans for tomorrow after an asbestos scare abruptly closes another Philadelphia school, forcing students to shift to remote learning. Plus, the strength of Mother Nature, what scientists believe is to blame for the increasing number of explosive storms and hurricanes making landfall.
We know this community by heart. CBS News Philadelphia.
Another school building in Philadelphia is temporarily shut down because of asbestos concerns. During a routine check of a fan at Southwark School in South Philadelphia, dust and debris were found on the attic floor that school officials say could possibly contain asbestos. Now students will move to virtual learning starting tomorrow. The principal says remediation work could take several weeks, which has some parents very concerned.
We're pretty frazzled. It's been a kind of a hectic, little over 12 hours since we found out that the school's closing.
I am not a fan of virtual learning. It's hard for the kids, it's hard for the parents, it's hard for the teachers. Kids need to be in school.
6 schools in the district have temporarily closed in the past year because of asbestos. The principal at Southwark says he is working with the district to set up a temporary learning space for students. Hurricane Otis killed more than 24 people when it plowed into Mexico Wednesday, many of whom learned too late how big of a storm was hitting this resort town. How did a tropical storm turn into a Category 5 hurricane so quickly? CBS News correspondent Tom Hansen says it's all in the water.
Hurricane Otis stunned scientists, with wind speeds jumping by 115 miles per hour to 165 in a single day, slamming into Acapulco. The National Hurricane Center called it a nightmare scenario, a nightmare caused by rapid intensification. That's when a storm's sustained winds increase by at least 35 miles per hour in a day or less.
I just didn't think it was going to be that bad. I really didn't. Just another storm.
Fisherman Matt Simonson lost his Florida business in last year's Hurricane Ian, another storm that rapidly intensified.
The water was coming in so much. It was almost up to my chest at that point. That's when I knew this is going to be very serious. When the wind started kicking up to the point that it was too dangerous to go outside.
No, this is the worst part.
Simonson says he tried to ride out the storm at a marina, but the water rose so high, his only option was to board a 65-foot charter yacht.
I felt I was at sea. That's how much water was there. Then it's almost like it's like a scene from a movie. I was shocked.
Hurricane Ian slammed Fort Myers as a Category 4, flattening much of the coastal communities in its path and killing 156 people.
It looked like a war zone. I was like, how could this even be possible?
A recent study published in Scientific Reports shows this type of explosive growth is becoming more common, especially in the Atlantic. Scientists agree a warming planet is to blame because warmer water temperatures create stronger storms.
Think of the ocean as the gas tank for the hurricane that is the engine. And the more high octane fuel you give it, the more it is able to accelerate in terms of its maximum speed. And the fuel they use is the warm waters of the ocean.
Dr. Rick Knabb is a meteorologist at the Weather Channel and the former director of the National Hurricane Center.
We're talking about a lot of fuel with the ocean temps the way that they are.
Yes, we would not see as strong hurricanes if we didn't have the warm ocean and Caribbean Sea and Gulf of Mexico. That is the fuel.
NOAA is now sending drones in the air, on the water, and below the surface, hoping to better predict when the conditions could cause rapid intensification. NOAA researchers are also using AI to analyze that data quickly.
Artificial intelligence is being examined to sift through all of that information coming from forecast models, helping us make more informed human forecasts based on all that uncertainty.
But even with this cutting-edge technology, Otis's jump in ferocity defied forecast models, something communities both on the coast and inland rely on.
Much of the country is vulnerable to the inland impacts, and that can mean inland flooding that could inundate entire communities like we saw with Ida.
Tom Hanson, CBS News.
Today marks 11 years since Superstorm Sandy made landfall in New Jersey. The storm brought heavy rains, 80 miles per hour sustained winds, and a record-breaking storm surge. Houses were swept off their foundations. There were widespread power outages. The storm and its aftermath was blamed for at least 182 deaths in the U.S. Superstorm Sandy remains one of the costliest hurricanes in U.S. history. Andrew is back with another check of the forecast. We're expecting some changes coming this week.
Big ones, yes. Now we're already nearly, in some cases, a little over 20 degrees cooler now than we were yesterday at this time. The big changes, though, are going to come later on in the week. When the dust settles and the colder air stays in place, we could be looking at temperatures flirting with or even at freezing.
Wow.
Considering we were over 80 degrees yesterday.
You immediately notice the difference.
You do, and today's not even that cool. It's just a lot cooler than yesterday, so our bodies aren't used to it. And our immune systems may not be so great either this week. So just keep that in mind. This could be a little bit of a shock to the system. And don't forget, we have Halloween on Tuesday, and we also have daylight saving time next Sunday. First, though, we're walking over to the wall. We're checking out Philadelphia from Camden. Things are looking pretty good out there. Yes, it's cool. We have a couple of showers in the area, but nothing downpoury. And of course, as we head into the overnight, we're going to see those temperatures drop a little bit, although the actual front is going to stay a little bit further to our west. So the warmer air in quotation marks ahead of it is actually going to stay in place until we can get that front through, and that'll be Monday, and then the cooler air settles in, of course, as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday. So a couple of showers. Again, what is reaching the ground very light, although a few areas in the Philadelphia metro as we speak will actually just get a couple of drops here, especially across northeast Philly, and then as you make your way across into New Jersey. Again, a few on and off sprinkles, but this is a big deal here. The last 8 weekends now, that means we've had at least one day of rain. Last time was Labor Day, where we actually had a completely dry weekend. Outside right now, it is 59 degrees in the city of Philadelphia. We're looking at a light wind right now northeast at around 10 miles per hour. That's going to drop down to about 5, 6 overnight. And with that lack of wind, it also means we may have a couple of areas of fog, especially across any areas that actually get some rain tonight. So again, as we get into the early part of your Monday, there's 5 a.m. Better chances for showers and maybe a few downpours across the Lehigh Valley. Philadelphia, not so bad, but some scattered stuff as we head into the afternoon. Again, it's going to be New York, northern New Jersey that get the worst of it. By Monday afternoon, a couple of showers across southern New Jersey. That's the leading edge of the front. It's out of here, and then we're back into some sunshine by Tuesday, but it's that colder air that's filtering in place that's going to be the big shock to the system. And then, of course, we have Halloween on Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night. For the trick-or-treaters out there, 52 degrees at 6 o'clock, 48 at 8, 47 at 10. So you might want to think about costumes over the or coats over the costumes because of those chilly conditions. 56 overnight tonight, cloudy and cool. Couple showers. Now tomorrow we do make it up to 70. That'll happen early on, about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Then the front comes through. The temperatures drop down quite a bit. Here's your 7-day forecast now. From 70 on Monday to 54 on Tuesday, 51 on Wednesday, and then by Thursday we could have a morning freeze. The overnight low I'm going for 32 degrees. Suburbs easily in the upper 20s. After that, it is a slow recovery and a nice dry stretch Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday into next weekend.
Thank you, Andrew. Well, Mr. Bell is back with more on the birds. Alliteration there.
I have questions. I see what you did there. I have questions about that mummy. Was the mummy doing the stanky leg? What was that?
I think it was more so
Andrew,
like
we had some questions.
Thriller dance.
Was it Thriller dance?
Yeah.
I saw the stanky leg. All right, let's talk sports. The 76ers are ready for their home opener tonight, but is Joel Embiid? We have the latest. Plus, capital gains. The Eagles go to the Beltway and walk away with a dub. More highlights and reaction coming up next.
We know this community by heart. CBS News Philadelphia.
All right, welcome back. The Eagles are now 7-1 after that win down in Landover, Maryland. Let's take you straight to the highlights. A.J. Brown is now finding himself in the MVP discussion. Second quarter, Eagles down 14-3. Jalen Hurts to Brown. Woo, what can Brown do for you? The sick one-handed grab for the touchdown. The Eagles trail 17-10 at the break. Third quarter now, Hurts to Brown again. So nice, they thought maybe they'd do it twice. 8 catches, 130 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He set an NFL record with 6 straight games over 125. Ballin'. Fourth quarter we go. Birds down 24-17. Hurts to a wide open Devontae Smith. And we do mean wide open. Smitty, 38 yards. Eagles taking the lead. Later on, the Commanders with the ball. Sam Howell's pass picked off by Reed Blankenship. And the Eagles get a much-needed turnover. Now the Birds looking to take advantage. Here they are. Hurts, shotgun, little RPO action, finds Julio Jones. First touchdown as a Bird. Hurts with 4 TDs. Eagles lead 31-24. Washington getting the ball back, and here is Hassan Reddick. Always on time, always on point. A 4th down sack. Birds hold on to win it 38-31.
It's a division game. It's a road win. You know, of course it was going to be tough. Like I said earlier in the week, man, they know us and we know them. So we knew it was going to be a tough battle, you know. And they just started off hot, man, and we just had to adjust. So.
All right, so the Eagles host the Cowboys next week. Dallas taking on the Rams today. First quarter, Dak Prescott. Dak to Shaq Ferguson for the 18-yard touchdown. Cowboys take a 7-0 lead. Later on in the first, Matthew Stafford drops back He is picked off by Deron Bland. That is an easy run for 30 yards and a score. Dallas crushing LA 43-20. They're now 5-2 on the season. All right, switching gears and talking hoops now. The Sixers hosting the Portland Trailblazers tonight for the season opener. James Harden participated in the walkthrough, and he'll sit on the team bench during the game. However, they are not ready to put him in live game action. As for Joel Embiid, after last night's game at Toronto, he's now a game time decision.
He's here. He's going to go through one little test here yet. Beforehand, there's nothing injury wise. We're just played last night and traveled and all that stuff, and we'll find out here shortly if he's available, but should be.
I think we call that load management. Sixers and Trailblazers tip off at 7:30. I'm Don Bell. More news with Aziza after this.
We know this community by heart. CBS News Philadelphia.
Well, that's it for us, for Andrew, Don, and everyone here. Thanks for joining us. We're always on at cbsphiladelphia.com, and we hope to see you tonight at 11. Have a great night.
Heart, hustle, home. CBS News Philadelphia. Uncovering the heart behind the headline. CBS News Philadelphia.